Tesla already completely dominates the electric car market here in Australia, even though there's more than 50 models here available now. But Tesla, they are saying, you know what they're saying? They're saying, Australia, we want to own the car market in Australia. We only have 2 models of car, but we want to own the car market in Australia. And we're going to do that by slashing the price. The price of Tesla electric cars now here in Australia is now nearly as cheap as China. It's the second cheapest place in the world to buy a Tesla electric car. These prices are staggering. The Model Y is now $37,000 US. That's for the standard range version. The long range version has had its price discounted as well. And so has the Model 3 Highland. The new version of the new Highland, it's incredibly cheap. Tesla have just reduced the price of the Model Y here in Australia. I think it's the second cheapest in the world. It's been reduced to $37,000 US. And the Model 3 is $36,000 US. This is the new Model 3, $36,000 US. My friends in America, guys, this is what happens when you have open borders. Now, I'm not saying you guys should. You probably shouldn't. But this is what happens when you have basically no taxes whatsoever on Chinese EVs. China can send them to Australia, and Tesla can say, you know what, we can still make a profit selling Australians. We ship them all the way from China all the way to Australia, which is actually quite expensive to do. But we can still make a profit. And I think Tesla still are making a profit selling the Model Y to Australians for 55,000 Australian dollars, which is $37,000 US. That is actually cheaper. That's cheaper than a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, which is, in my opinion, pretty old school technology. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. The Toyota RAV4, it's actually not a bad car, to be fair. If you bought one of those, you know, I wouldn't despise you. I wouldn't particularly think, hey, that's a great car. Wow, I feel excited for you. I'd just look at your car and go, oh, yeah, another one of those. Yeah, all right, whatever. Move on. What's next? You know, it's just not something that I think anyone wakes up in the morning going, hey, today I'm going to go and I'm going to buy a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. Don't know what's in there. Don't know what the battery is. It's probably a nickel metal hydride battery. Who knows? That's what Toyota still use. Lexus still using some of their cars. Don't know what it is, but you know what? That's what I'm going to get. It's just one of those things that gets you from point A to point B, gets your kids in the car. But in my opinion, when I see a Model Y, I know some people don't like to look at them, but I do. When I see one, I think, oh, there's a car I like. There's another car I like. I like that color. That color suits it. I like that combination of wheels with that style. For me, the Model Y does that. And the Model 3 more so, because the Model 3 looks great. The new version of the Model 3 is such a huge improvement on looks. And not only that, I mean, guys, it's a massive improvement in every way. So many ways. You already know all the ways, I'm sure, suspension and noise and, heaps of ways. Anyhow, price of the Model 3 in Australia now is $55,000. Price of the Model Y is now $55,900. So $1,000 more for a Tesla Model Y. That's about $600 US for you guys in America. And it makes the Model Y cheaper. Yeah, cheaper than a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. So you'd have to be crazy to buy the Toyota. Anyhow, the Toyota Camry is now, the hybrid version of the Camry is now about the same price as the Tesla Model 3 Highland. Guys, the Model 3 Highland is a far superior car than the Camry. No question about that. I honestly think Tesla's going to see an explosion of sales here in Australia. I know a lot of people have been sort of wondering what's going to happen. A lot of people are saying Model Y, I'm going to wait for the Juniper version. I get that. It will look better. It'll look more like the Model 3. It'll have, massive improvements to the car. But at the same time, now you got to be saying to yourself, well, hang on a minute. This price is ridiculous. $37,000 US, $55,900 for a Model Y. Hang on a minute. Maybe I should just pull the trigger and buy one now. And I can understand that. Now, there's a lot of people saying, Tesla, you absolute dogs. Tesla, F you, screw you, I hate you. To hell with Tesla. There's quite a few Australians saying this apparently. And they are furious I'm honestly not exaggerating. I've seen many of these comments. I've seen many people not saying this as well. I've seen many people saying, you know what, plasma TV screens, right? They used to be super expensive. They used to be, $20,000. And the price came down and down and down and down. You might have bought one when they were $4,000. You might have bought one when they were $10,000, but you still enjoyed the experience, right? So technology prices coming down, making EVs cheaper for everyone is not a bad thing. But a lot of people saying the kind of comments like, people who bought a Tesla already, they got effed over by Tesla because they paid a higher price. These people should be furious that Tesla's doing this. And what do you think about that, guys? What do you think? Do you agree with that? Personally, I don't. Guys, there have been times in my life I did buy a TV right before we left Melbourne. I think it was about 3 months before we left, I bought a TV and I thought I got it for a good deal, but then 2 weeks later, it was listed. It might have been, could have been a month later. It was listed for sale, I think at about $300 less than I paid at the same shop. And I've got to admit, I did go, oh, that's a bummer. But I thought, you know what, doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. It's only $300. But the thing with the Tesla vehicles, if you place an order for a Model 3 Highland, or if you place an order for the Model Y, Tesla will actually reduce what you've paid. So if you haven't yet received the vehicle, but you've already ordered, Tesla will actually give you a refund on the difference in the cost now with the cheaper price. That's cool. I mean, if you've already ordered, that will happen. You'll get that discount passed on to you if you've already paid that money. Now, if you've already taken delivery, that's it. And, you just have to kind of suffer, essentially. But hey, guys, you know what? Price changes happen all the time. I think that even though this will suck for a few people, overall, it's amazing for the industry. It's going to force Kia, right? Kia are going to bring out the EV5 to Australia. The EV5 is manufactured in China. By the way, guys, just because the EV5 is made in China, Kia and Hyundai don't really sell many cars in China. For them, it hasn't worked out. The China thing, people don't like South Korean cars or something. I don't know exactly what. But anyway, Kia are making the EV5. They are going to reveal the price of the EV5 in Australia. It will have lithium iron phosphate batteries. It's intended to take on the Tesla Model Y. So what does Kia have to do now? Well, Kia have to come along and say, well, hang on a minute. The Model Y now is $55,900 or $37,000 US. We have to make it cheap. I mean, imagine if the Kia EV5 comes in at $65,000. That would be $9,000 more expensive than the Tesla. And I don't think Kia would know. They're not going to get a whole lot of orders if it's $9,000 more expensive. This will put some pressure on Kia. It also puts pressure on BYD because, Tesla reducing the price of the Model 3 Highland is huge. Reducing the price to 55,000 Australian dollars does mean people are going to see some of the YouTube video reviews. And I know people who love the Seal and love BYD are going to crucify me for this. But the truth is, guys, in the comparison tests, in every one that I've seen about 6 of them. Everyone has come out and said, some of them were multiple comparisons, the Model 3 versus 3 other EVs, but Tesla have won every one of them. Tesla, the new Model 3 Highland, it's won every review, which involved the BYD seal, Now, that is based on European and UK prices, though. Essentially, there is not really much of an advantage in terms of price, but in Australia, the seal, well, it was cheaper. It's not really cheaper anymore, though. So guys, what do you think about these price changes? Will this affect what you do? What do you think about Tesla's pricing? I mean, think about this. The cheapest Model Y in America now is $45,000. The cheapest Model Y now in Australia is $37,000. That means the cheapest Model Y is $8,000 US cheaper in Australia. Aussies, we can no longer complain. I mean, we're looking at price parity here. This is price parity. Tesla Model Y is on parity in terms of price with other comparable vehicles that are internal combustion. So it's happened. And I, for one, think this is awesome. Let me know what you think, though. Thanks for watching.